It's tempting to treat the coronavirus crisis as a crisis of the Trump administration, because it is a crisis of the Trump administration, but it's also a crisis of political leadership across the political spectrum. I think there's a real problem within our politics that the Democratic Party is capable of understanding, rank and file Democrats are capable of understanding the myriad ways the Trump administration has failed. I think any fair reckoning of what's gone wrong here, he deserves the lion's share of the blame. But there are things the Democratic Party could have done to make this easier, to make this better, or even to just say the way that the Trump administration is pursuing this crisis, the way it's trying to treat it is the wrong approach. And they didn't stand up and do that. They basically accepted the basic framework and put a few tweaks here. In Congress, in particular, there was an opportunity to pursue a different approach to the economic side of this crisis with the bill that passed in late March. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party just did not seem to be interested in proposing a different way of looking at the crisis. The way the Trump administration decided to treat this was by pouring what looks like trillions of dollars into the global financial system. Democrats could have proposed something different. They could have talked about treating the coronavirus crisis itself. I mean, there is a desperate need for nurses and doctors right now. We're short actual people to combat the crisis. We are short actual physical supplies to deal with the crisis. Hospitals don't have the equipment they need. We would be behind no matter what, but we're weeks behind getting our manufacturing capacity up to where it might otherwise have been because the Democratic Party wasn't interested in pursuing this line of thought, both after the crisis broke and in the months ahead of time when it was clear something very serious was coming to the United States, certainly to New York City. It's not clear what Joe Biden thinks should be done about the coronavirus crisis. It's not clear what Joe Biden thinks should have been done beforehand. He's largely been trying to stay out of the public eye and try to avoid creating controversy. That's a political strategy that may or may not work. They're not presenting themselves as leaders with a different way of understanding and addressing this crisis than the president has. I think in November, that could be wrong, but I think that's a very dangerous strategy for them to pursue come November, because people are not going to feel good about this crisis come November. This is going to be a very hard set of months for the United States. And if they believe that all of their leaders have pretty much adopted the same process and been on the same page about how to deal with it, they're going to be angry at all of their leaders, not just the president.